So I'll be on the lookout for more things to start incorporating. But I guess getting a Christmas tree up right after Thanksgiving is going to be one of those things now, apparently.
I mean, I'm surprised you never done it. Like I said, you're very Americanized because in my family,
But
say
that's a Dominican thing, man, because I haven't seen any Dominicans that actually do that early on.
I have.
What the is we doing?
Welcome
Oh,
back, folks. It's been a while. Life, which is living. Cheers for that. I'm a bit sick, so I'm drinking medicine with tea.
I'm just drinking water
Um,
here.
this time around, since the festivities, the holidays are coming close, very close, we're just gonna speak about maybe we can start your favorite memory in the holidays. I mean, we cannot specify holidays as Christmas and New Year's, but what other holidays are around this time? Hanukkah, I don't know if you're Jew, but
Hanukkah, yeah.
um,
There's a lot of them. I
yeah,
can't name them
there's.
all.
I think we
I
can.
apologize.
Let's just talk about our holidays. Like for me, it's
Yeah.
always December. Always it starts with Christmas and New Year's. That's probably the main things I celebrate within my family. But
Hmm.
even like Thanksgiving kind of like falls under these holidays. Oh, not really. Sort of.
I mean, it's supposed to. That's
Yeah,
kind of like the beginning of everything.
true. Well, tell me, Randy, what is your favorite story of a holiday?
Yeah.
Everybody. Okay,
I
let,
mean, go ahead.
let's generalize. What's your favorite thing of the holidays?
I mean, I can tell you my favorite day. My
Mm,
favorite day is usually Christmas Eve and well, Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. Those are my two favorite days. Specifically within my this household, we don't necessarily celebrate Christmas Day, and
mm,
most of the time it's like all the gifts are given out on Christmas Eve, and we kind of sit together and celebrate and give thanks and you know just have a good time with the family on Christmas Eve. And then Thanksgiving, just because of the food. I love food. So those are my two favorite days. I don't have a very specific memory in mind. There's nothing that's really sticking out to me right now. Um, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Like they've all been great days, but they all kind of blend together. And there hasn't been anything like super crazy that's ever happened. Probably when maybe I got like I don't know, a gaming console. Maybe when I got my GameCube, that was a pretty great holiday. If you remember those, that was one of those gaming consoles from Nintendo back in the day.
mm.
Super excited about that. I got a PlayStation 2, but that wasn't for Christmas. I think that was for my birthday. So that was pretty cool. I was a little spoiled when I was younger as well. So there's also that.
We can tell.
That's probably why I can't pick a particular day because I was a little spoiled and most of them were pretty good. So if I had shitty ones and then there was one that was really good, then it would stand out. What about you?
Oh, mate, just with the expression of my face, you can tell I love this time of the year. For many reasons. Okay, I can go into that first. I feel like you're very Americanized, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're very Americanized. I feel that. Like even me living in America in the States for X amount of years, like more than half of my lifetime. I feel like we still keep the traditions that I grew up with in Ecuador, where
Hmm.
typical Latinos or Christmas is not Christmas Eve, but like that
Hmm.
25th.
Hmm.
So we usually celebrate mostly on the 25th.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, so why this time of year in New York especially, I feel like is my favorite time because if I don't know, you watch Home Alone, right? I think it's the two.
Yep.
Yeah. So every time that I walk around this time of year in New York, I feel like I'm in that movie. Like the
Mm.
lights, the snow, the the happiness. I don't know. It's
Hmm.
so nice. Like I miss that. To be honest, I was melancholic about this, talking with my sister, because I kind of miss that. And
Hmm.
yesterday here in my city in Cuenca, they actually did something like that, so I feel a little bit better. It was kind of quite nice to see that over here
Nice.
as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I feel like during starting from Thanksgiving
Hmm.
to end of the year, I feel like that's when I see my friends most of the time. Now that we are adults, it's so hard to see each other or hang out during, like the rest of the year. But during this time
Yep.
specifically, we do Friendsgivings, we do some parties for Christmas, like so usually this time around we see each other more often, and family as well. So family you usually see most of the year. But this time around, I feel like more people
Yep.
come together. That's why I feel like it's one of my favorite times. Um, then February memory is when I think it was a couple years back. I surprised my uncle here. He was
Hmm.
throwing festivities in the community for like the school and stuff.
Hmm.
It was 2019.
Okay.
And I surprised him, and that was the first Christmas I came back to Ecuador after I left
Hmm.
when I was 12 years old. So I think coming back here, seeing how festive over here it gets, it was
Hmm.
really nice, to be honest. And my uncle's face, I will never forget. Like he just was super surprised because nobody knew. Just my mom knew, and I just jumped into a plane and came here. So I think that was my favorite memory because it reminded me a lot of my childhood memories when I was a kid. Over
Hmm.
here, it's very festive. There's like a lot of culture. They mix a bit of like Catholic traditions with like
Hmm.
traditions from this country. So if you ever get the opportunity to come to Ecuador in Christmas, is amazing. I think that's for most of the Latin American countries or any other countries. Like there's a lot to do. That's why I had a lot of
Yep.
Mexican friends who go to Mexico during this time of year. Like I don't know if you heard that. Like a lot of people that are Mexicans
Yeah.
they go to Mexico because the festivities over there are insane as well. So
Right.
yeah, a specific day, favorite thing to do or activity to do. To me, I think it's New Year's. I think
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially like looking like now at this stage of my life where I am.
Hmm.
I feel like within my family we have these traditions that we rotate houses um
Hmm.
to celebrate New Year's in each of the houses,
Hmm.
and we drink, and even my mom drinks. But we do like like the uvas, like the wishes. We dance, we match shirts, we do all that kind of stuff. But with like my extended family, so there's not just my direct family, but my uncles, my aunts, my cousins. They all come and get it together in one house. We eat, we party, we drink. There have been New Year's that we go until like 6 a.m. in the morning. And I think I started to value that now because while I was in college, I had to work two times, two New Year's Eve, like New
Hmm.
Year's Eve. Like I had to remember I used to work in a hotel. So I used to pick up those shifts because nobody wanted to. And yeah, I think that's why I started valuing that time the most because I get to see most of my family united in one place. I'm gonna miss that.
Right.
Actually, they do the same thing, same tradition here in Ecuador as well. And okay, so that funny thing about Ecuadorians New Year's Eve is that we burn like a mannequin of a people,
Hmm.
of somebody. So whether like let's take whoever was the most travieso or like the like oh had bad luck, we just burn that. Like if you just Google like Ecuador New Year's, you're gonna see like they sell like huge statues of like mannequins, and it's crazy. It's like
Hmm.
a huge thing here. So we carry on that after we move to the States as well. So we do that.
Okay.
And over here, they do it as well because we used to do it here. And before we burn it, so there's my cousins, or like even I participate in this kind of like roasting kind of game where they interpret it or they kind of like how do you call that? Act. like the person, and they just make
Mhm.
jokes. So let's say if somebody did something funny the whole year, they play that in that night. So before midnight. So it's a really cool tradition. Actually, the whole community does that here. So I think that I find it
Nice.
pretty cool. So yeah, I think New Year's Eve for me is the best night. My favorite day. But yeah,
Cool.
have,
Um,
have you ever spent the holidays in DR? How different are they from?
I don't. I mean, not New Year's, but I have spent like probably Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's obviously different in a place like DR simply because it's always more about the community,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially like third world countries or South American countries. Being together with the family is usually the most important thing. And usually when you're with the family, you're within a community, and that community can be pretty extensive, right? It can be, like a couple hundred people. So it's definitely a different vibe in DR when it comes to celebrations like this. And again, when you go to a different country like that, not all the holidays that are celebrated in America are celebrated there. So that's one thing to keep note of. But for the things like Christmas, it's pretty cool. Um, again, I don't have that much recollection just because most of my time has been spent here. So I can't really tell you of any specific
Well,
event.
let me ask you
Yeah.
this. So now that you have a family, because now your wife is your family, is there something you would like to integrate in these traditions and these holidays? Like, I don't know, like for example, growing up, I always thought about things that I want to do once I have my own family and traditions that I want to,
Hmm.
keep, or traditions that I don't want to keep. So is there something that you see yourself doing differently this year for Christmas and New Year's Eve?
Not really. I mean, we have a Christmas tree up.
Is that
They
new?
had a, huh?
Is that new?
Well, in terms of the time frame, yeah, because this went up right after Thanksgiving. So
Uh,
that's a new thing. But that's more on the white side of the family, the Colombian tradition. They
mm,
literally jumped right into Christmas celebration right after Thanksgiving, which was funny because I've
no,
never seen that before.
us too, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So that's more of a South American thing altogether then.
Hmm.
There's not anything specific. Again, for me, when it comes to the holidays, the most important thing is just spending time with loved ones
Hmm.
and doing things that we enjoy together. I'm pretty open to new traditions and new experiences, and kind of at this stage of the game, there's nothing that I want to integrate, but that's probably because I haven't seen enough things. So that's something that I'm gonna kind of keep my eye on, see
Hmm.
what kind of traditions I do want to start incorporating. Because again, at this stage, still early, but there is talks of having a family soon, right? So children. So that's something that I definitely want to have established before that actually becomes a thing. Because when you create that kind of environment for children, again, it creates fond memories, like you've said, right? And those memories stay with you for a lifetime. So that's something that's really important to make sure that you have down early on. So I'll be on the lookout for more things to start incorporating. But I guess getting a Christmas tree up right after Thanksgiving is going to be one of those things now, apparently.
I mean, I'm surprised you've never done it. Like I said, you're very Americanized because in my family,
But
say
that's a Dominican thing, man, because I haven't seen any Dominicans that actually do that early on.
I have friends who do that.
Nah.
Because even here in Ecuador, I was one of the first houses that put lights on, like literally after Christmas. Because I was on
Mm,
FaceTime with my family while they were eating turkey, and I was just here doing nothing because it was a regular Thursday, and I was just putting up lights, and
right.
it's fun. Um, no, yeah. Is there something unique, something different that you're doing this year for holidays, or you're just spending with your wife, family?
No, just spending wife, family. Would have liked to travel, but at this point, it's still too early with the new job,
Mhm.
so don't have enough PTO time accumulated. Plus, it wouldn't look too great just taking a vacation after starting for 1 month. But maybe something for next year. Maybe that's something that I can start as a tradition. Maybe traveling for the holidays,
Mm.
going to places that celebrate the holiday, and just experiencing different cultures, and then from there get more experiences as well, right? So that's something that I can start doing for myself. So maybe
Definitely.
that's something that I'll do for next year.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, I'm actually starting a new project here with my family, like both of my family in the States and also in Ecuador. This
Hmm.
is an initiative not just by myself, but also with my cousin, Richard. Yeah. So there's this fun memory that as a kid growing up in Ecuador, we all share, like my uncles, my mom, my parents, and even my grandpas. Since we used to live very like in the remote areas of Cuenca in the past, like
Hmm.
now it's very accessible. But before it used to be like super remote. Like the streets used to be shitty. Well, when I was growing up, I remember they start working on the streets. But before that, like I have still childhood memories when on Christmas there's a tradition here. They give you a bag of candy, a
Hmm.
cookie, and a toy, right? So like in my community, that's blended within the traditions that they do here in the community. Like
Hmm.
there are priostres, or like, I don't know the English word for that, but like the patrons, I guess that they put money to make bags of candy to give up to the children and even to the
Hmm.
adults. So receiving that used to be really exciting. And now they do
Hmm.
that like every year, because now there's the economy is better here, it's more accessible as well. And there are cars that come here. No, oh no, but where I was going with this is that growing up, there used to come trucks or like people, just like regular people, giving
Hmm.
out these candies because before in the community they didn't do that. So even
Hmm.
my uncles, my parents, like you can talk to them and they would tell you that they used to love receiving candy from strangers. Like literally when you're a kid. Yeah, that sounds really bad.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
when you're a kid, that's kind of like a candy and a toy for Christmas
That's the
when
best, bro.
it's the best, yeah. So now my cousin and I, we kind of want to do that for other people's. Now that we have the possibilities, we want to go somewhere remote and do that what we used to receive as a kid, you know.
Got it.
That can be also like a really fun memory that I have.
Mm.
But yeah, now this time we found a place that is literally to get there, you have to drive for 4 hours, leave the car there, take a boat for 2 hours, like in the river, and then
Jesus.
walk for 45 minutes, 45 to an hour, like uphill and in the jungle. And there's this community of indigenous people, and I'm sure not a lot of people go there to like give out candies because it's really hard to get to it. So we're gonna be try to be the first to do it and just give the happiness to kids. And that's a huge thing here in Ecuador too, that a lot of nonprofits or just people, regular people, they go around this, like in the streets and they just give like uh not just now it's not just candy, but also like like essentials like toothpaste, things like that, toothpaste, paper towel, bathroom paper and stuff like that, to like the
Mm.
poorest communities within Ecuador. And that's what I love about this community. It's always there's always people trying to give back and help out.
Right. Nice.
But yeah, so I think
That's
that's
cool.
that's something new that we're trying to kick off this year,
Hmm. Hmm.
with the help of our family, also extended family in the States, and with my family here, kind of like a combination. And eventually our vision for it to like build a foundation and do this every single year, you know, and maybe like
Nice.
growing in the scale. But a lot of people do it too, so it's not really uncommon to see that.
Gotcha. Well, maybe you can connect with those people as well and then expand it a little bit more.
Yeah, this time we're trying to do it just a family.
Right.
Eventually that would be ideal to, connect. And it makes you feel grateful because I feel like now the kids, for example, just like kids within my family, they don't appreciate much anymore. They don't know the happiness of receiving a bag of candy when literally you should like
It's a
I'm not,
different time. That's
yeah,
one of the
it's a
things as
different
well.
time. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like a fun memory I'm trying to build. And definitely I will keep that in my family as well. Like, maybe
Nice.
in the States or somewhere. But like, yeah,
Cool. All right.
tradition.
So what are you thinking about New Year's? What kind of do you have any resolutions already planned out? Any thoughts? Anything you're gonna be working with?
Well, definitely I want to do the backpacking that I was speaking of with you. Backpacking South America, backpack my way up to the States, to New York. So I'm definitely gonna do that. Um, Definitely put more effort on finding a corporate job. I
Hmm.
think that's also my resolution, not just putting effort, but actually landing a corporate job eventually once I'm back in the States.
Right.
And I think working hard after I get back to the States, I think I will seek stability in a sense that in a sense of a job, kind of like build a new routine as well, like a more healthy and productive routine. Definitely learn. I think my resolutions always fall into my core values or core pillars, which is experiences, growth, and contribution. So thing on the experience sections, like I mentioned, is the finalize my backpacking trip. How Danny called this sabbatical year, so end my sabbatical year.
Yeah.
uh, and the growth, I definitely want to start growing in my career, just like get
Hmm.
certificates, learn more, become more experienced software engineer. And then
Hmm.
on the contribution aspect, I believe it will be creating more funds for the next holiday season that I to contribute back over here as well.
Hmm.
I think those are my highlights for the resolutions. Aside of that, I'm not into those that get fit, go to the gym. Not my
Well, I
into.
mean, you want to build healthier habits, right? Build a consistent routine for health.
Yeah, I mean I'm consistent with the gym here as well. Look at this gains.
Hmm. Sweater's hiding the gains, bro.
But yeah, what about you? What's your resolution for?
Uh, well, I mean, right now, again, everything just a completely new environment in terms of work. Obviously, my relationship has evolved. Um, just basically continue doing what I'm doing. Again, my mindset has always been to try to be the best at what I do. And realistically, that's just a daily practice, right? Every day, put in the work, try to find things to improve upon. If you're doing well in one thing, stay consistent with that. Uh, One thing that I was able to actually start picking up now at Equinox is basically working out every day.
Mhm.
This is part of the job description, essentially. If you have a break and you're not working out, people look at you funny. So that's something that's helping me keep accountable, which is great because that's something that I really felt that was lacking before. I was doing too much work and not enough like physical fitness, and
Mhm.
my job is basically just involved with fitness, right? So like, how can I tell people what to do if I'm not even doing it myself? So that's something that I'm really glad that I've picked up and would like to continue into the new year. Just stay consistent with that.
Mhm.
Um, Started being really good about supplementing and making sure. So like I'm again taking a holistic approach to your health is super important, just because you can prevent like 90% of the issues that you would possibly have, right? So if you get good quality sleep, if you eat well and you exercise consistently, like 90 to 95% of the problems that you might have where you need to go to the doctors or go to the emergency room, like can be avoided. So
Yeah.
that's something that I've like really taken seriously. And I'm looking at like what are the things that I can be incorporating into the daily routines that can help me be better. So I've upped my supplement game. My sleeping routines have been more consistent, and the workouts have been really consistent. Um, I'm really good with the work that I'm doing now. Like I feel accomplished, right?
Mhm.
Or I feel like I'm working towards something that I can be proud of. So that's great. So the sense of purpose is being fulfilled. again, at this stage of the game, man, it's just staying consistent with what I'm doing. And, one of the things about life is that when things are going well, that's usually when shit hits the fan. So just making sure that regardless of how things shape out, to be able to have consistent routines on the daily to keep me on the path, regardless of how the day turns out.
Good. Take
That's it, man.
steps. Now let's set a resolution for this pod. Ta-da!
What are you thinking?
What could it be? I think maybe something that I've been lacking, not just on this pod, but also on my personal kind of like travel profile, is not be consistent on uploading posts or reels to engage people. I think I was just listening our previous pod, and there's a lot of value that I feel is not being heard of by other
Yeah.
people. So maybe that's something like personally I would like to incorporate next year, be more consistent on just kind of like managing the social media platforms and just get more
You know
experience.
what we could do? I mean, not yet, but we
Mm,
could get somebody to help us manage it.
that's true because I suck.
Because I think we both don't really have the time. And then the other thing is that we need to learn a couple of new tools.
Well, I think just get our feet wet on it and see how hard could it be. But yeah, I think that's kind of like engage more people, probably just get more listeners, kind of like more audience. And I think that the format that we have right now is pretty good. Like, the structure of the pod itself is good. But I think also we need a little bit more consistency on when we want to upload this. Like kind of like a set.
Yeah.
Remember how this year we started like having the physical kind of like conversations. I think
Yeah.
well, by mid-year, once I'm back, I think I would love to retake that because it was a different different approach. I felt like it was more organic, more natural.
Yeah, that's why we started it to begin with, right? Like we wanted to create something that was different. Well, I mean, not different, but it just created something a little bit more unique between us and just having a conversation that we would normally have, because that's the idea, right? It's supposed to be like a normal conversation that we would have, but recorded. What's the best way to have a normal conversation? Do it in person,
Exactly.
right? So that's definitely something that I can definitely see us doing. I don't know. I like the idea of hiring somebody, or at least getting somebody to help us with just that side of the business. Like we can look into people in our circle, right, that might be interested in it, or we can look outside our circle.
Absolutely. Well,
create jobs, and also,
yeah. Well,
it'll help us kind of stay a little bit more accountable.
Boom. Another thing too, something that I'm very proud of that we did this year is that we got our first invite. How do you call that? Invitee? First guest. First guest on the pod. That was pretty fun to talk to a third party, get like a perspective, learn about his life, what he did. I think that was pretty cool. And
yeah, we got to do that more often. Again, everybody says that we have to do that. It's just a matter of actually, again, this is why we need somebody else, because they can go get somebody. Right. We don't have to go do the groundwork for that.
But no, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would love to see that this upcoming year, bringing more people in, getting their perspectives, and just chatting. Remember, we had a conversation about love and how we think logically. Maybe we can bring your wife into the conversation as well and see what she thinks about the pod.
I don't think she would want to be on camera, but maybe. We'll see.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be your wife. It can be somebody else as well. Definitely, we gotta look into our circle. We can bring Danny in. He talks shit. It would be fun.
He would say something very homoerotic, completely out of context. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, if we're having a serious conversation and all of a sudden it turns into that, it can get a little crazy,
Yeah. No, but yeah, definitely we can start within our circle and then expand that. Now that I'm gonna be traveling, I'm just gonna try. We could have a monk, man. He was down
Yeah.
at the talk.
He texted me so late. It was fucking damn.
Yeah, but it was morning over there.
Ah, that's
But
all
yeah,
right.
but no, well, opportunities will come, will arise. That's for sure.
Okay.
All right. I think
Alright.
that's the resolution. I think we can summarize it in engage more people through social
Mhm.
media. Just that, learn or either learn or hire, or we will see which one worked best. More guests and consistency on when to record and how
Yeah.
to record. I think improving the quality also, that would be great. Well, my audios are awesome, so go here on the Spotify. The videos are are okay. I don't really watch
They're
them.
decent, but that's what I'm saying. I don't really have the time to learn a new software,
Yeah, no,
editing softwares.
I'm joking. Wow. Yeah, mate. All right. I think we can wrap it up there. Any last word
Sure.
you want to say?
No, just if we don't record anything before the new year, happy holidays and have a new year. We'll see you in the new year with more consistency, hopefully new experiences, and uh, hopefully we can have more people on so that way we can discuss different topics and get different perspectives. Uh, because more often than not, we agree with each other, kind of why we're friends. Um, but having something to kind of go against, that way
Yeah.
we can get different, a different dynamic, a different perspective, maybe create a little bit of drama. I don't know. That might get some more views, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
no, just like, again, we want to make sure that, again, this is not us going about it in such a way where like we're giving you specific things that you should be doing with your life. This is just our perspective, right? And just navigating life and what worked for us, what hasn't worked for us. And there's different things that you can do. And that's why bringing somebody else in with a different perspective and a different life experience can help with that, right? Because just because we do something a certain way, that doesn't necessarily mean you like doing it that way, or you might benefit from doing it that way. But yeah, I think that's something that we can definitely do in the new year.
Boom. Well put. Well, everybody, Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas. If we don't see you again, sending you good vibes.
Cheers. I don't know if you want to bring alcohol back in or no?
We should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This is a conversation between friends.
None of what is said here should be taken as legal advice.
We are not experts in any way.
Take what resonates and leave the rest.